Breaking right now, Prince Harry is terrified that a deportation order demanding that he leaves the United States of America for lying on his immigration documents about whether he took illegal drugs could be just around the corner. And the election of Donald Trump as US president changes the game, according to Niall Gardner from the Heritage Foundation, which is pursuing this case against Prince Harry. Niall, so great to have you back on Outspoken. Tell me exactly where this court case is at.
Well, thanks very much, Dan, for asking about the court case. And I think, as many of your viewers are aware, there was a recent court ruling that basically meant that the Biden administration would not have to release Prince Harry's immigration records. The Heritage Foundation sued the Department of Homeland Security for the release of Prince Harry's records because we want to ensure that there has been openness and transparency, that there's been no dishonesty on the part of Prince Harry with regard to his immigration application. But the judge, the federal judge, ruled that Prince Harry's privacy should be respected, and so we are looking into appealing that ruling, but we're also calling for the release of all documentation in relation to this court case, and we are urging full transparency and accountability here, Dan, because we believe the American people have the right to know if Prince Harry lied or not on his application, whether he was given any kind of preferential treatment by the United States administration. And so all we're asking is for the release of these records, and then the American people can see what's in them. And then if Prince Harry lied on his application, then he should be removed from the United States. And it's as simple as that. And I should mention as well, Dan, that in the ruling, the legal ruling that was released, there are significant elements of that ruling that are redacted in terms of the details relating to Prince Harry's application. We're calling for the full disclosure of the contents of the ruling and the full transparency here with regard to all the documentation relating to the case. Now, as you mentioned, of course.
What's this about? Well, if Prince Harry lied on his immigration forms about drug use, he may have committed fraud, and that could mean goodbye California mansions and hello Heathrow Airport. But there's more. With Donald Trump, this case could take a very different turn. All right, let's get straight into it. In this clip, we hear that the Heritage Foundation sued the Department of Homeland Security to release Prince Harry's immigration records. Why? Because they believe Harry may have lied about his drug use on his visa application. Now, this isn't some conspiracy theory. Prince Harry himself admitted in his book Spare that he used cocaine, marijuana, and even psychedelic drugs like ayahuasca. Let me be clear. If an ordinary person had admitted this in a book, their visa would have been denied or...
Dan, that President Trump's election is a huge game changer, and our legal action was taken against the Biden administration, the Department of Homeland Security specifically. But you're going to have a new U.S. administration in place in just a few months' time, and they will then have the discretion to decide what to do with Prince Harry's immigration records. So the new administration could release those records. President Trump, as the president, could order the release of the records. The Department of Homeland Security could launch a review of the records. So there are multiple things that could happen here. But my view is that there's a very good chance and likelihood that we will see the release of Prince Harry's immigration records by the new U.S. administration. We are strongly urging the next president to release Harry's records to the American people. And President Trump has made it absolutely clear that if Harry lied on his application, then appropriate action would be taken against Harry. Lying on an immigration application is a criminal offense. And it's a very serious matter, and that would result in deportation of the individual concerned. And so, so I say to Prince Harry now, if you have nothing to hide, support the release of those immigration records for the American people to see. And I expect that we will see ultimately the release of those.
Well, I really hope so.
Those records.
I really hope so, because if you look at Trump's career, Niall, he's always been about transparency when it comes to this type of thing. Remember when he campaigned, for example, for the release of Obama's birth certificate when he was first entering the political arena all of those years ago. And look, I know we don't know for sure, but you only have to use common sense to think that there's no way that Harry would have written on his legal documentation, oh yeah, by the way, I took lots of illegal drugs with the friend star Courtney Cox while in America. That is exactly what he boasted about in Spare. And I guess the key point is that Trump has said previously that he doesn't believe that Prince Harry deserves the sort of protection that he's clearly been granted by Joe Biden's administration. He was mates with Joe Biden. The slight fly in the ointment, from where I see it, Niall, and I'm interested in your view on this, is that Donald Trump has the utmost respect for King Charles. In The Art of the Surge, which was the documentary on X released before the election, you actually see Trump talking about his huge love and respect for King Charles, not just the late Queen Elizabeth III. He is as enamored with Charles. Now, the problem is this is Charles's son. And let's be honest, Charles doesn't need the headache of Harry coming back to the UK. So do you think there's the possibility that Trump might end up going soft on Harry, not because of his views about Harry and Meghan, which he has made publicly clear, and he's disgusted about the fact, by the way, that Harry betrayed the late Queen just before her death, but because of his personal relationship with King Charles?
Now here's where things get ridiculous. We have millions of illegal immigrants crossing our southern border, but the Biden administration will bend over backward to protect a British prince from scrutiny? Let's talk about Joe Biden's hypocrisy for a second. Just last year, his administration denied Novak Djokovic entry into the US because he refused to take the COVID vaccine. Meanwhile, Prince Harry could have lied on his application about something that's actually illegal, and they shield his records. Think about that. If you're a world-class athlete, you're banned for not taking a shot. But if you're a woke royal with a Netflix deal, you get a free pass on potential immigration fraud? The average American would be kicked out of this country so fast if they pulled a stunt like this. But for Prince Harry, special treatment.
Yeah, those are all very, very good points. And of course, whatever action will be taken by the next president, that's a matter, of course, for President Trump and his new administration. But my sense is that President Trump has always been a huge supporter of the US-UK special relationship. In fact, I've been in meetings with him at the White House when he was president, discussing the special relationship and Brexit, and he's a big backer of Brexit. He loves the UK, he loves the royal family. He has immense respect for the royal family and for Great Britain, its rich history, heritage, culture. He loves the British people. He loves the United Kingdom, and I think that at the same time, of course, Donald Trump is a very strong believer in the enforcement of US immigration laws, the rule of law, and border controls, and I think that Prince Harry will be treated no differently, frankly, to anyone else who applies to the United States. And of course, Prince Harry has spent a lot of his time the last few years attacking relentlessly the royal family, and Donald Trump himself spoke about Harry betraying the Queen, and Trump is back as US president, so he dearly loves the royal family, and he has a very close connection to the royal family. But at the same time, he's expressed strong dissatisfaction with what Harry has said about the royal family, and most Americans have been appalled by what Harry has done. The royal family is very popular here in the United States, Dan. Most Americans love the royal family, And Prince Harry has been trashing the royal family together with Meghan Markle for the last few years. And Donald Trump has been absolutely appalled by that. And I think, as President Trump, said he will take appropriate action if Harry lied on his application. And I do think there is a clear public interest in the release of Prince Harry's immigration records. And I do appeal to the next president to release those records to the American people. And of course, that is a decision for the president himself and his administration to take. But I strongly urge President Trump to release Prince Harry's immigration records so everyone can see what's in them. This is a matter of openness, transparency, and enforcing U.S. immigration law. And Donald Trump has championed the enforcement of America's immigration laws.
Exactly. Just
and I
because you're a
think Prince
president.
Harry should not be treated any differently anyone else. And the Biden administration has fought tooth and nail to protect Prince Harry. Why have they done so? And I do think, Dan, this is a can of worms that once you open it, it's not pleasant what we will potentially see with regard to Harry's application. And let's see that can of worms opened up for the public to see what's in it.
Fully support what the Heritage Foundation is doing, and I hope you have great success. You know, I've been tracking this case for a very long time.
Now here's where things get really interesting. Dan Wooten and Niall Gardiner both mentioned that Trump's return to the White House could change everything. And folks, they're absolutely right. Let's take a quick trip down memory lane. Back in 2020, President Trump didn't hold back on Harry and Meghan. When they started lecturing Americans on the election, Trump flat out said, "I'm not a fan of hers." You think a second Trump administration is going to protect Prince Harry if he broke the law? Not a chance. In fact, if Trump wins, you better believe this case is getting re-examined. And let's be honest. The real reason the media is panicking about this is because they know Trump's America First policies don't include making exceptions for woke elites. Now here's something else that's worth talking about. The mainstream media, CNN, MSNBC, even some of the British press, they're completely ignoring this story. Why? Because Prince Harry is their guy. He's been useful to their agenda, attacking the royal family, pushing woke narratives, bashing conservatives. But now he's a liability. If they admit that Prince Harry lied on his visa application, they'd have to admit that he broke the law. And they'd have to explain why the Biden administration is covering for him. And that's a story they don't want to tell. But here's the truth, folks. If this was Donald Trump Jr. or any conservative figure, the media would be screaming for deportation. We all know it. So let's wrap this up. This case isn't just about Prince Harry. It's about equal treatment under the law. If Harry lied on his visa application, he should face the consequences, just like any other immigrant. If Biden's administration is covering up for him, they must be held accountable. At the end of the day, folks, America isn't a safe haven for privileged elites who want to skirt the law. We don't do special rules for special people. Tell me what you think in the comments. Should Prince Harry be deported if he broke the law? And do you think Trump will make sure justice is served?